Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Ghadir, and I'm an expert in the world of fertility, the area that I love and have deep passion for. I have helped thousands of people around the globe start their beautiful families, and in this podcast, The Fertile Life, I interview guests about their paths to parenthood and dive into discussions around how the road to becoming a parent shapes us. Also looking at the balance between family and many responsibilities life demands from us. And we'll be discussing the challenges that we encounter along the way. Through insightful conversations, I hope to create a guide for listeners in all stages of life and break many stigmas often associated with fertility. We will also share all the health and wellness tips my guests and I have learned over the years. Follow along as I take you on a journey towards the fertile life. Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Ghadir, and welcome to Fertile Life Podcast. I'm so excited today to have someone that is going to be able to offer you a lot of amazing information. Serena Poon is going to be with us today. And as I always like to do, I like to turn over the moment to you to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and let all of our audiences know much more about what you do and what we're going to be talking about today, because I'm really excited about this and I want them to be as well.
Hi. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Ghadir. It's so great to just be here with you, and so nice to actually kind of like meet you. I love that we can do that now, just via Zoom if I don't get a chance to see you in person. So thank you for having me. Well, my name is Serena Poon. I am what I call a nutritional energy practitioner. I'm based out in Santa Monica, California, and I really combine my expertise and my experiences as a celebrity chef. I'm classically trained and a nutritionist. So I'm certified in holistic health and regular nutrition. And I actually combined my background with different types of nutrition, Ayurvedic. I put some Chinese medicine into it. It's just, have always been just sort of a nerd when it comes to nutrition. And I'm also a Reiki master. So in my practice of culinary alchemy, where I create these healing programs, it's really a combination of energy healing and also nutrition. So, whether it's holistic or sort of traditional classic nutrition, it's very integrative and functional. And I create healing programs for people.
That is amazing, Serena. And I just made bullet points in my head. I think we went to number 43 of what you actually really do and your capabilities. So that's amazing. And I love that. So thank you so much. So let's talk. You said there's so many things that you do. I'd love to start with a few of them just to begin with, and to kind of address how it would help someone who is trying to live a fertile life, who is trying to get ahead in life and be smart about their fertility. You said that you are classically trained chef and a nutritionist. And I'd love to know if a woman in her reproductive years was coming to see you and to ask you for help about what she should do or what she shouldn't do, what exactly would you recommend, and how would a conversation with someone like that go?
That's a great question. And I actually have quite a few clients that sort of fit that mold and that category. And the first thing I usually do is we take a look at their labs. So, whether or not their doctor has already run all their labs, and we kind of have an idea of what their fertility looks like. We do that.
So their hormone levels is what you're referring to?
Their hormone levels. We have them I have them do a micronutrient panel, inflammation markers. We obviously do gut as well. I have them run all their adrenals, a full adrenal panel, just to get an understanding of what their insides look like, what their nutritional levels are inside, what their inflammatory markers are. And then we also look at what their goal is. So are they looking to get pregnant in the next 3 months, 6 months? Maybe it's a 9-month thing because they're planning their wedding and they want to do this, as soon after they're married. So that's the first thing that we do. And then I also kind of do what I call an energy intake. So that's when I apply that energy work, that Reiki, and I kind of dial into the different energy centers, because it's my belief that we can use lifestyle, obviously, and nutrition and supplements to really support the physical body as well as our energetic body. So first thing, hydration is huge. And I would say that most of my clients, my patients are extremely dehydrated. So I don't know if you run across that in your practice, but it's quite prevalent in mine. So hydration is my number one thing. And what I like to do is kind of start them on a very gradual, sort of like a detox, where we're just sort of adding in lemon water every single day at the start of their day. We're adding some chlorophyll in, and then adding certain herbs as long as their body is in agreement and alignment with those herbs. So they don't.
Are you adding those herbs into the beverages that you're recommending that they intake? Because I have bottles of water in front of me, and I start to drink these, one after another. And I realized that I learned this in medical school years ago, people that drink fluid, the fluid goes into the cells of their bodies and also exits the cells. Mm-hmm. Patients or people that don't drink a lot of fluid, they don't have much of an influx and exflux of the fluid in and out of their body, into their cells. That's why they don't really get they don't really get thirsty. I drink a lot of water and I get thirsty all the time. Mm-hmm. So are you putting the nutrients into the water as in terms of certain beverages, or what exactly are you referring to?
So when I'm talking about hydration, I'm just talking about water. Okay. The first beverage and the first thing in the morning is going to be a warm glass of lemon water. That's very Chinese medicine. It's very Ayurvedic. It's, you want to put that into your body so you can start the detox process. As we sleep, our body, our organ systems, reset itself. It kind of detoxes, and you want to be able to release those first thing in the morning. We also lose a lot of water when we're sleeping. Just breathing, we can lose up to like a liter of water, and people forget that. So, when I'm saying hydration, I'm just talking water. When I'm talking nutrients and say adding in herbs to help detox and chelate, pull out metals from your body, I'm talking about parsley and cilantro. And these are things that you can put into a smoothie or just put into your food. So those are just very subtle, basic things that I like to start every client on, because most of us need a little bit of detoxing, just other than the food that we eat, just the air that we breathe, it's kind of in our environment. So those are the first things that I do. And then I take a look at this lab work.
How come the water warm? I've been to China 12 times over the last 3 years. Yeah. And I realized a lot, because they don't want to mess with the milieu of the bodies, the temperature that's there. It's a huge shock to the body when you're pouring in cold versus inside is warm. But How come the lemon juice? And explain a little bit more about why the warm water.
So our bodies run at about 98.7 degrees. That's our body temperature. And it's the idea that, exactly as you said, you don't want to shock your body. When you wake up, it's almost like waking up with ease and kind of grounding into your day. And so it just makes it more efficient, and it's more efficient for the body to receive it at a temperature that's about the same temperature as your body, so that it can do what it's designed to do. It can now cleanse and detox and do that without having to work too hard. To put it in a very simplistic way of speaking. What lemon water does is it alkalizes in your system. So our bodies constantly are adjusting in terms of alkalinity and acidity, depending on, again, what we put into our bodies, what's in our environment. That's Gizmo for
cutest thing ever. Cutest thing ever. For people who aren't watching, Serena has the cutest dog in the world sitting behind her, and I'm getting so distracted because Gizmo is so cute.
He is my buddy, and he loves lives. He loves interviews, and I could have him in a different part of the house.
I think I really bored him, because he went to sleep right now so quickly.
I feel like this is his comfort zone, though. We go online, we're talking, and then he just kind of does his thing, and he's a little healer, so he brings good energy. But back to the lemon water, this helps to alkalize our system, alkalize our body. And it's also that dose of vitamin C that you're getting first thing in the morning. It's a very easy check off. So just with, maybe 20 ounces, if you can do 20 ounces of warm water with some fresh lemon in it, it really checks off a list of things, kind of gives your body that kickstart. It also starts to activate your digestion. So it's a really good way to wake up your body, but with ease.
That's amazing. So
You know what I
simple,
mean?
so simple, but so thoughtful. And so many of us don't think about that. So I actually love that idea. And when you said the herbs, when you said the parsley and when you said I forgot what other, it was another green herb, cilantro. Like, I was raised in a household because we're Middle Eastern. Those are like part of salads and on top of food, and eating it fresh is not a problem. We actually eat lots of other green herbs just fresh along with your food. And I love that. But I feel like the American culture thinks that that's awkward and uncomfortable. So I just would love to kind of just put a little emphasis on why the benefit of those things.
So first, I absolutely agree with you. I think in the American culture, it needs to be hidden, so it needs to be blended up into a pesto or a sauce or a dip, or hidden in a smoothie. And okay, if that's how you're going to get into your body, that's fine. It's just trying to get it in, because these herbs are so great for detoxifying and purifying our bodies. They really help. Say if you have metals, and you don't have to have like heavy metals in your blood, but on a regular basis, again, just from the foods we eat, from the air we breathe, there are metals that go into our system. It's just a natural byproduct of our environment. So it's nice that you can just on a daily basis pull those things out of your body. And
do they lose their chelation factor or their ability to take the metals out of your body if these vegetables and these green herbs are cooked, or are they just as good if they're fresh or cooked?
Okay, so I think that for all herbs, all plants, all vegetables, I shouldn't say all. There are some that are better that are better steamed. So say kale, for example. But most vegetables, most herbs, they have their greatest superpowers in terms of their nutritional value and what they're able to do for your body when they're either raw or in a near raw form. So that's what I would say when it comes to the cilantro and the parsley. But if it's easier for you to get into your system with like in a soup, slightly cooked, it's better to do it than not. Okay. I have a product called Just Add Water, and it's all raw, organic, superfoods that are.
I definitely wanted to talk about that, but now that you brought it up, let's go right into it, because that is something that I was so impressed by, and I absolutely love that. Love that idea.
Send you some.
Please, I would love to try it.
Yes, absolutely. I have it dropped off to you, but I brought it up because my mom, and I'm not sure if this is the same, say, in your family, but my mom likes to drink warm beverages. She prefers it over cold. I'm sure it's also I'm Chinese, obviously, and so it's very cultural and, again, part of our belief system when it comes to that balance with health. So I can't get her to drink Just Add Water unless it's warm, unless it's like in her coffee or something like that. And again, obviously, when you heat it up, these are raw, organic, dehydrated superfoods. You get the most benefits when you're having it either room temperature or cold. But if she's going to have it at all, I'd rather her have it, even if it's going to be warmed up in her coffee. So
that's how there was the inspiration behind that?
No, actually the inspiration I was just saying that, even if you can't have something raw in its most nutritionally dense form, you can still have it heated or cooked, and it's better than not having it at all. Just Add Water, the inspiration for Just Add Water really came from my clients. So, I'm the chef. This is when I was much more active as a private chef and, doing private catering and cooking for my clients. And I was doing all of their nutrition and really packing their meals in a nutritionally dense way. A lot of my clients are in front of the camera, and some of them are behind the camera. So when they're traveling on location, they get off a plane. They could be in another country after a 16-hour flight. They get very little downtime, and they've got to hit the red carpet, and they have to look and feel and give the energy that people are expecting of them. They have fully A game. And that's challenging because they're human. And after a 16-hour flight, you might be a bit tired or jet lagged. And so I started, and they'd also come back, maybe with weight gain or bloated or sometimes sick, which happens to a lot of people when they travel. So I started just blending, in my kitchen, just adding in different superfoods, different things I knew that they needed. And they were in like little Ziploc snack bags. And I would just pack them up before a trip. And I said, just have one of these every day with a little bit of water and come back to me whole.
Wow.
And that's what I did until one year we were at the Cannes Film Festival and they were drinking this. And I'm sure you can probably imagine it's really good for you. Raw, organic, dehydrated. It's like brown and green. It's not the prettiest drink with all the goodness that's in it. And so they're drinking this, and one of their friends was with them and said, is that what you're drinking? Is that your secret? Because I was with you until 5 a.m. at Hotel du Cap, and I do not look or feel like you right now. What is that you're drinking?
The secret was out, Serena. The secret was out.
Yeah, so that's what it was. And they said, do you have more? And I, of course, travel with it myself. And then it just became a thing. They tried it.
Wow, just add water. So simple and so brilliant. I love that.
So I will absolutely send you some for you to try. But that's really kind of how it came to be. And they were like, we need to have this on all of
And that's brilliant for travel. I mean, nothing throws your system off more than travel. There's something about the extreme dehydration of a flight. And as much as I drink water in a flight, I'd still feel dehydrated, knocked out, run over by a truck when I get off.
Absolutely. It's so common. And, people I think we just forget because we just get on a plane and we fly and we land and we're somewhere else. We forget really how hard that is on our bodies, to be contained at the level of the pressure that's on our body at these incredible heights. And so we just forget because we're able to do it. We get on, we sleep, we wake up, and we just forget how taxing it is on our body and how hard our body works to.
Well, I'm glad you made something that helps that and helps people kind of feel rejuvenated. I think it's so smart. But you said a magic word right now, sleep.
Yes.
Sleep. And I love how it's become now noted that's how important sleep is. And I love to hear your take on sleep. I know you've done a lot of work in the area of sleep, and I am sure that your reproductive age women that you deal with and want to keep as healthy as possible. I want to hear what you have to say about that. I'm getting a little concerned because I have a feeling I could talk to you for 5 hours. And now I'm just trying to get to the really important points because this I know is going to be a great talk. And I'm so excited to hear so much, and I have a limited time.
Well, I'm yours for past there if you need me to be, but
okay.
But yes, so sleep is, and sleep is something that I have to always remind myself to do as well, because I, like you, am an entrepreneur and have so many different projects and things that I'm so excited about. I have a tendency to really have to shut off in order to get the number of hours that I need to get. And sleep, especially for women who are, they're trying to get pregnant, they're trying to really increase isn't the right word, but they're trying in terms of working on their fertility. Sleep and your circadian rhythm, that is so important because your body really needs to rest. And I think that we have a tendency to, again, forget that our bodies work for us. We wake up, we breathe, we're alive, and our bodies are working 24/7. So sleep and really sort of preparing your body to sleep is one of the most important things. So, doing that digital detox right before bed is so important, to take yourself away from the blue light, or at least give yourself the tools to offset that. So whether they're the blue light glasses or putting your screens in a certain mode so that your body's not taking in that light and keeping your brain on is so important. But yeah, I have a friend who's, the sleep doctor, and not everybody needs the same amount of sleep.
Right.
But you have to be aware of how much sleep your body needs, especially if you are trying to get pregnant or you are pregnant, because your body's working so much harder. Yeah. And again, we forget that.
I always realized for myself that I had friends that just needed so little sleep, and me and my family all needed more sleep. Mm-hmm. I always saw my mom taking a nap in the afternoon. All her brothers and sisters and my grandmother did the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I was just, when I was getting older, I'm like, oh my God, my friends in med school were staying up till 3 a.m. I had to go to bed at 11. Wow. I was able to get up at 3 a.m, to start studying again, but I had to go to bed. I knew when my brain was shutting off. And I think it's so key to know what your expectation of sleep is, because it's different for everyone. But with the sleep goes the anxiety and the stress as well. And, I think that people that are really abusing their body and not giving them the amount of sleep that they need are harming many, many aspects of their life, including the stress and anxiety that can deteriorate everything. And I'd love your intake on that, because I know that you're very well versed on that and you help your clients with that as well.
Yes, no, you hit such a good point. It's so true. When we don't have enough sleep, clearly, it affects our immune system. It's almost like keeping our body in this sympathetic state. And so, our adrenals are overworked. Our brain actually doesn't calm itself down, doesn't actually rest. And so you are almost keeping your body in a constant fight and flight mode, which also tires your body out, lowers your immune system. It lowers the ability for every organ system to really function optimally. So, when we're talking about women who are trying to get pregnant and really want to optimize their abilities to do that, again, sleep is the most important, because your adrenals need to rest. And so it's something that I do work with people on a regular basis about. And I think that there are very holistic ways to do it. You can either do breath work, which I do Reiki a lot in the evenings for clients, because it helps them ease their body into sleep, and it's almost like the energy work continues. But it's just about,
for those people that may not know what Reiki is, can you explain that, please, just in a nutshell?
Sure. So essentially, Reiki is this Japanese technique of channeling energy. So let's say if you believe in energy and there's universal energy, you say from source, that's what we say. So it's coming from source or the universe. You're intentionally directing energy towards a recipient. So whether it's that person, a part of that person's body, it can be a place, it can be a situation, it can be a tangible object. It's just intentionally driving and directing energy that channels through you to a specific receiver or recipient.
And so also clearing the energy too, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So you can clear. I actually kind of use pranic healing along with Reiki to clear. So when you're driving energy towards an area, pranic healing is really about clearing. So you want to sort of clear out all the blockages and anything that you don't want, almost like detoxing, and then bring in that beautiful light energy to bring light, energy and healing to a specific area. And so one thing that my pranic teacher, Master Ko, one thing that he talks about is that imagine if you have a pipe, and there's a clog, you have to actually clear that out before you fill it in with goodness or light. And so Reiki does that, but pranic healing is sort of a different style of healing that's really focused on clearing the clogs, clearing and detoxing that which you don't need, and then pulling that light in. So that's Reiki, sort of in a nut. And it's a tool that I use to help, and I teach people to do it as well, to help really ease your body into a place in the evening so that you can sleep. And you can also allow your organs to, again, reset itself, rest, reset. And I think that's why at 11 o'clock you get tired, is because from 11 to 1, there's a specific area of your body that's ready now to, rest from the day, to cleanse, to reset. And then every couple hours, this is like a Chinese medicine thing, but every couple hours, it's like a different organ system that goes through the same process. So most acupuncturists, I would say, they would say, try to get to bed by 11. Between 10 and 11 is ideal, because that allows your body to do what it's naturally designed to do. And it's a circadian rhythm thing too.
Right. So I would assume that clearing of the mind and stuff is part of, the mindfulness practices that you do. Are there any other mindfulness practices that you would love to share with us?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So breath work is a really powerful practice that anyone can do. And what I usually lead people through is a really simple 4-4-4. So some people call it, box breathing, right? I just call it the 4-4-4. And that's when you just take in a deep breath through your nose. And when you're bringing in that breath, you want to imagine that that light is coming in through your crown chakra all the way down, deep breath, all the way to the bottom of your stomach. And then you hold it for a count of 4. And then you release to a slow count of 4, pulling everything out. So when you breathe out, you're actually detoxing. When you're breathing out, you're releasing energy that doesn't serve you, but you're actually detoxing as well. And so then you do that to the count of 4, pause for a count of 4, and then you do it again. So we do this maybe 4 or 5 times, which adds up to be, a little over a minute. And it really shifts your body into a parasympathetic state. And now your body is able to receive. So whether or not you're doing that in the middle of the day because something stressful happened and you just need to take a moment to breathe in, that actually allows you to go into your next moment to receive. You can go in with more clarity of mind and focus. Or if you do this before you have a meal, it prepares your digestive system to now receive the food, and you're able to receive nutrients better that way as well. So if you're doing it before sleep, it's like an ideal way to just kind of ease your body into that state.
So I do that actually without knowing anything that you had said before this, sometimes before going to bed. When I'm just like, I need to just get the thoughts out of my head, just taking them deep breaths slowly. But I'm going to try to do it exactly the way you did. I think it's brilliant to put your body into a more parasympathetic, calm moment before eating and allowing your body to absorb nutrients rather than swallowing your food, stressed out as could be at the same time trying to do that. Wow, I love that. Absolutely love that.
Thing that you can do, and you don't need me, you don't need anyone. So just remember, just breathe. And it only takes seconds and you will actually digest your food better.
Serena, I don't know how you know all this. And have you written a book, by the way?
No, but I'm like in the process of working on one now.
You need to. You need to. Oh my God, you definitely need to.
Thank you. I'm just, I just love this stuff. And I've been through a journey of my own with my own health. I've had multiple surgeries, and my passion started with my parents having had cancer. So I have a passion in me to learn as much as possible and to share it, to anyone who wants to learn and listen. So
amazing. How can people get in touch with you?
Okay. So, you can reach me on my Instagram, which is Chef Serena Poon. Or you can also reach me at my website, which is serenaloves.com. And, on both, you'll find everything about Just Add Water and the show that I do and just all the different projects that we have going on. We have a lot of things that are launching very soon. So it's very exciting.
And one thing we've all learned from this pandemic is that you can have appointments probably via Zoom or however for anyone around the entire world. And you don't have to be living in beautiful Santa Monica, California.
Yes, no, I can talk via Zoom. I can talk. Actually, we do things online, even though I can do things via live.
That's amazing.
It's fun that way. I mean, I even do Reiki distally. I've been doing it all of 2020.
Well, while you were teaching the breathing to everyone, I was doing it here and feeling the benefits of it. So you can definitely do this via Zoom.
I love it. And don't forget, visualize the light that goes in too. So it's really, you'll feel a difference.
That's amazing. Well, I have absolutely loved talking to you, my dear. Now I know what this is all about and everyone who is so interested in why you have such an unbelievable following. I wanted to thank you so much for spending this time with me and coming on to the Fertile Life podcast, which it means so much to me. I appreciate everything you do for your reproductive aged women that are trying to get balanced and be the best they can be before going on to one of the most incredible journeys of their life. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Ghadir. It was so fun.
Thank you for listening today. If you've enjoyed listening, please feel free to write a review. Also, Feel free to follow my Instagram at Dr. Shaheen Ghadir and message me if you need help setting up a consultation. Look forward to speaking to you soon, and I would love to help you start your family.